What's up YouTube, welcome to the video. In this video we will learn how we can properly maximize and full screen our application and what is the difference between them. And if you want to implement both of the functions, I mean the maximize and the full screen function in your application, you must watch the full video. So let's begin. So we're gonna create a new project of type WPF. So WPF, and we will choose this one, .NET Framework C#. Click next, and we will name it as Max versus Full Screen WPF. Click create. So first of all, I would make this application as borderless, and for that I need to change the window style as none, and the allow transparency property as true. And I can also change the resize mode as can resize with grip, and I would change the grid into a canvas, and then I would create a button. I would give it a height of 50 pixels and a width of 100 pixels, and their font size as 18 pixels. So the first button is for the for exiting the window, exiting the application. So first button is just cross, and then I would copy and paste this button 4 times. So one for the maximize, one for the minimize, and the last button to full screen the application. Now for the symbol of the maximize, minimize and the full screen, I would go to the Unicode notepad, and I would also give all these Unicode in the descriptions. So copy this and paste it in the button text. And now for the maximize, I had to write one. So this is the maximize button, but with the font family of Webdings. So Webdings. Now finally for the full screen, I have this Unicode stored. So here goes the full screen Unicode. So now we have placed all the symbols. Now we can start making their functions in a separate class. So for that, go to the solution explorer, your solution, right click, add class, and we would name this class as the control, and we would make this class as a static class. Now we would define some variables. These would indicate that the application is currently full screen or the application is currently maximized. And then some more variables, static, point, and for this I need a library which is system.windows. Now these two variables, the old location and the old size, would remember the size and location of the application before the maximize or full screen. Like the Visual Studio, currently it is of some size, and it has some location, like this is currently the location of Visual Studio is 0,0. So this is the location of the Visual Studio, and this is some size of the Visual Studio. after I press maximized, when I press the restore down button, it restore it to the old size and towards the old location. So this old location and old size does the same. And now we will begin writing our methods. So static void, and this would be public. So public static void set initials. This would initialize all of these variables, and we would take a window as our argument. So all of the methods which we are building over here, we would use all of these inside our main window class. So inside the set initial, I would write old size equals to new size win dot width comma win dot height, and inside the old location, I would give the old location as new point win dot top and win dot left. Copy these two and paste it out, and then replace them with their default versions. So I would explain these two lines later in the video. Now for now, what is the win dot top and win dot left? It is basically the position that the application is currently 0 from the top. So now it is approximately 10 pixels from the top, and this is currently 0 pixels from the left. And if I drag it up here, now it is some pixels away from the left. So these are the top and left position of any application in a WPF framework. Now I would create a private method to full screen my application. So static void full screen, and just a if else condition which would say win dot window state equals to window window state dot normal. Just copy this and paste it here. Maximized else copy this and paste it here normal. So what we are doing here, we are checking that if the application is currently normal, make it full screen. If the application is not normal, this is the else condition, then make it normal. So this is our full screen function. Now we would make a private maximized function. So static void maximize. In the maximize method, we would write double, the type double, and then x equals to system parameters dot work area dot width. Copy and paste, change the x to the y and width to the height. In a minute I would explain that what is the work area. For now, just keep writing win dot window state equals to window state dot normal, and then win dot top equals to 0. Copy this, paste, change it to left, and then win dot width equals to x and win dot height equals to y. So what are we doing in the maximize section? Basically, first we are trying to find out that what is the working area of the monitor which is currently running this application. So the working area is all the size of the monitor excluding the taskbar. So basically it is from here to here and from here to here. So all this area is the working area. So basically what we are doing is, first we are making the window state as normal. So if the application is maximized or full screen or anything like that, it would just make the window as normal, and then we are giving it a position of 0 comma 0. It means that we are giving it the position of this means 0 comma 0. Now what we are doing, we are expanding it all the way to the uh, working area which we have find over here. So we are expanding it all the way to the working area. So basically we are maximizing the application like this. Now we have successfully made the maximize and the full screen method. These are the private methods. We will not gonna use them in our actual application, but we're gonna create some public methods which would use these method to maximize and full screen the application. So before creating the public function of the maximize and the full screen, we would create some more methods like public static minimize, which would also take the window win as the parameter, and I forgot the return type, which is void. So just copy this and change the maximize to minimized, and we would also create a exit method. So we would write application. So this is the method to properly exit a WPF application. Now it's time to finally create the public methods of the maximize and the full screen. So we will come down, we will come up here and say public static void do maximize. If is max equals to false, then maximize. This is our private function that we created below. We have given this the parameter which we have taken in the do maximize. We have passed it as it is, and then is max is gonna be equals to true, and is full screen is gonna be false. So what we are doing here, we are storing the location of the current window into the old location variable, and the current size of the window in the old size variable, and then maximizing the application and turning the is max boolean into true and is max full into false. So this is the position where app where app is currently not maximized, then maximize it. Else, if there is some condition when the application is currently maximized, then we have to make it normal. So this is the condition where the app is currently maximized, so we make it normal. So we say win.top equals win.left equals to old location dot x, and then win.width equals to old size dot width, win.height equals to old size dot height, and then is max equals to false, and is full also equals to false. So what we have done here, the application is currently maximized in this situation, and we are making it normal. We are making the Windows top location the top parameter as we have stored before in the old location, and we are also making the window left variable as we have stored in the old location variable, and we are shrinking the windows to the size which was the size before maximizing. So these two lines does that, and then we are saying that is max and is full, both are false because we have made the application as normal, so it is neither full screen nor maximized. Now to create the do full screen public method, now I would just copy all the code here in the do maximize and paste it in the do full screen, but we have to carefully make some changes. We make this maximize as full screen, and then full screen here, and full screen method here, and then it is currently not maximized and it is currently the full screen because the app is not the app was not full screen, so we made it the full screen. At this stage of the application, we have completed all the methods, but I know there is still some debugging to do, but before that let's check what we have built. So I would come inside the code section of the main window and call the set initial method. So the control dot set initial, and pass it the this keyword. So that this keyword would pass the entire main window as an object to this method, and then now we have to create the click event. So first we would name these buttons. So x colon name exit. Now to create the click event, we have to just write click and new event handler, and it will create the event for us. And now just do this with the rest of the buttons. Now we will come inside the code section, and here in the exit button I would write the control dot exit. In the minimize I would write the control dot minimize, and in the full screen the control dot do full screen, this as the argument. And then the control dot do maximize. But we forgot one thing, which is I have to pass the button too. So what I'm doing here is that I am recognizing that the sender is a button and then passing the button. So here I am passing the button, and then I would iterate the maximize function a little bit. So here I would write button, and I would be needing the library of the windows.control, and then in this section I would write, and here I would write the button content as 1. This is because of the Unicode that the 1 stand for the maximize and the 2 stand for the restore down. So the 2 stand for the restore down, which is this symbol. So now we're gonna test our application. So the minimize button is working, the maximize button is also working, and then the full screen. But what happens when I full screen and then click the maximize? Now the restore down, the application is still too big. I cannot see the whole application. So this is the whole problem which we're gonna debug it right now. So to debug it, just come to the do maximize, and here we have to in the else section where we are currently in the maximize form, and we have to go to the normal form. We're gonna edit this a little bit and put a if else condition. If any of these two conditions exist, then what our program should do is it should shrink back to the default size instead of these saved size. So we are saying that if the old size width and the height anything is greater than or even equals to the working area, it means that if the application is this big, it is occupying the whole area, then it cannot be called a normal state. So we are moving it to the default size, and else just do the same thing as before. So what we are saying here is that uh, uh, if the application is maximized, then make it normal, and when the application is normal, it should return back to its old position and its old size. But if the application is too big, then do not return it to its old size, but return it to its default size. So it is shorter and at the default location. So this is what we are doing in this section. Now I would copy all this and just paste it to full screen method over here. So everything would remain the same. Then I start the application, and now you would see that I full screen the application and I press maximize. It is now maximized, but when I press the restore down, it doesn't restore it to the bigger size, but it is now restored back to the default size because it was too much big. So now it is restored back to its original size. But if I make it this much bigger and then maximize it and minimize it, so it has retained its size because it was not that big which had occupied all the working area, so it retained its size. So this time when I maximize and restore down the application, it was running the else version of the program, and the first time when the application was turned back to its default size, it was using this part of the code. That was all for the video. If you like the video, press the like button and do subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.